Welcome to Santa Pod for the first round of the 2017 MSA British Drag Racing Championship featuring the Pro Mods. With 6 rounds to look forward to, can last year's champion Andy Robinson do it again this year?
Oh, you never know how things are going to go, but we're coming out. We're number one. We want to defend that position if we can. We've done some upgrades. The lads have worked and the crew have worked really hard over the winter doing stuff. So yeah, the usual stuff, small upgrades, and then just work away at it, small steps at a time.
So here we are, the first of 4 scheduled qualifying sessions at the Festival of Power. Time to blow off the cobwebs and see if the winter upgrades have worked. First out on track will be Bobby Wallace and a beautiful Willis. And looking good from the off, 664 at 212 miles an hour. And that was with a pedal in the middle as well. Next pair saw Rick Garrett come to a halt after his burnout, so it's a solo for Kev Slyfield. Wow, that certainly woke him up. Looks like a huge oil slick or something similar under the car, and Kev's lucky to save that one. Not the start he was looking for.
No, it wasn't ideal. We burst a high-pressure oil pipe and managed to spray all around the engine, and I was a little bit got under one of the slicks and turned me sideways, so yeah, not ideal.
Have you been doing much to the motor over the winter?
Yeah, we bought a new supercharger over the winter, sold my old one, and I wasn't going to do this year, but you know, the bug is there, so that lasted about 2 weeks into the off-season, and then back on it and got a new supercharger which arrived last week. So it was a mad dash panic to put that on, to get it all sorted, and yeah, we're hoping for a decent year.
France's Jean Delemont up next. And that wasn't planned either. Looks like the rear wheels locked up. Nice bit of drifting there from and with the Camaro. Well, most drivers would have bought the run after that. Not Jean though. Get the car started, do a 3-point turn, back up and go to the start line like nothing's happened. It must have affected his concentration though, to say the least. Okay, what can the Camaro do then? Bouncing all the way to the finish line, quite a season debut from Monsieur Delemont.
For the first run, I test a new box and new engine adjust, and I am surprised with the burnout. I let my feet quickly, and I don't push a little for the burn, for not run. The car jump and my feet jump. I don't push my feet. I am. It's a débutant. In français, nous disons un débutant qui apprend. I learn, and I for the next run, I try more good for no jump and no return on the burn.
Andy Robinson then, and it seems that the orange Camaro has turned black over the winter. On and off the brakes quite early on this one.
We had a problem about 3 weeks ago. We were working on the car and we had the body off, and it was a really calm day, so I thought, and unfortunately the body flipped over and did a bunch of damage, so we've had to repair the body, and then we just didn't get time to get it rewrapped, so the paint shop did the preparation for wrap, which is black, and that's as far as we got. So we had to very quickly do all the Yanko and all our sponsors' names, and run a black car for this particular meeting.
A new face for Pro Mod this year is going to be John Webster. He's built a 1967 Mustang at his firm Webster Race Engineering that's going to be called Fast Company. We caught up with him in his workshop before the event.
We were involved with ProMod way back in the late 80s with Tim Cook and Rob Loring, and obviously young and inexperienced but enthusiastic, and we stuck with it with various other cars right into the sort of mid-90s, and it's something that I aspired to do personally, but financially and time-wise and work-wise it wasn't possible at that time. So it's something that was kind of on the cards at some point if I could ever afford or get the time to do it. So here we are. We don't want to turn up with the same equipment as everybody else because it's not the way to do it really. So we're just kind of putting into the car what we've learned over the years, and it's all theoretical. A lot of it stems from the street eliminator stuff, but it's something we've got to kind of test and prove. You know, if it wasn't theoretical then we wouldn't need to test. So the weight side of it's obviously quite important, not just keeping it or manageable weight within the limits of the rules. What we aim to do is try and have a certain amount of weight that we can move about in ballast, so we can tune to different track conditions and different power levels, that kind of stuff. And the battery, we've kindly been supported by a company called Anti-Gravity. Is a 800 amp battery which only weighs 2 kilos. It's lithium ion. It's significantly less than the conventional battery in terms of weight, and if we can locate it where we think we can, we will also save a bunch in cable weight as well, about 16 pounds. So it's an overall weight saving. There's about 60 pound weight saving. I mean, they always are R&D projects anyway, but yeah, just find our feet, baby steps really, try and learn from every run that we make, and hopefully progress into something that's competitive.
Well, we all can't wait to see that car out soon. On to session 2, and this is Mick Payne. And bouncing seems to be the order of the day for Camaros on this early season cold track. Unfortunately, Mick never managed to get the car working well over the weekend. Kev Slyfield, leak fixed. Another on and off the throttle launch. Kev's never won for giving up on a run. Blast on through, 7:46, 2:14. No one's getting close to Bobby Wallace's time yet. Andy Robinson left lane, Rick Garrett right hand side. Much better for Andy that time round. Off the gas early, straight to number 1 with a 6:24, 1:95. So Jean Doulemont in the Bad Apple Camaro and Bobby Wallace, previous number 1 qualifier. Jean again locking up the rear wheels after the burnout. But staying straight this time round. Bobby out of the throttle as he drifted towards the wall. Another great full run though. 682 and 676 for Jean.
Well, we've now put a 5.3 bore space engine in the car, 3-speed, various other changes. It's a whole new ball game now. You know, it's another learning curve, but we'll get there hopefully. Potentially it's going to go fast, you know, but there's steps to take first.
On to day 2 then, and the first outing for the hot rod of Andy Wright and Bert Englefield, now sporting an even more gorgeous flame paint job. First outing also for Wayne Nicholson in the Lucky Devil Corvette. Good burnout for Wayne, but frustrating engine problems, or maybe even gearbox problems as well, meant no qualification runs for him. Well, the hot rod missed yesterday's qualifying due to a broken oil pump, and after this burnout they shut the engine off, so still not qualified with only one more chance to get in the show. And finally, for the first time in competition, the 2 Willis side by side. Both very different designs of the same race car, but stunning nonetheless. No improvement for Bobby, and problems again for Rick Garrett getting off the start line. And for Andy Robinson, traction issues, getting very, very close indeed to the wall and backing out of it. Let's see that one again from Andy Robinson's onboard viewpoint. That was quite a move over to the wall. Well corrected, Andy, and well saved as well. Final qualifying session then, and 3 drivers still not qualified. It's always difficult on the first outing of the year. The winter upgrades coupled with a cold track make getting a setting very tricky indeed. Now Kev's got more horsepower this year with the upgrades. So's Rick as well, actually. Both looking for good launches. Rick Garrett over towards the wall and out of it. Kev Slyfield though, on and off the throttle, but all the way through with a 6:49.224 new personal best speed. That was as well. So Bobby Wallace and Jean Delemont with their last attempts of the weekend. John with trouble off the line, but Bobby no problems at all this weekend. That's 3 full runs in a row. And his quickest so far, 6:56 at 2:14. Nicely done. The two Andys this time, Andy Wright and Andy Robinson. Bit of an out-of-shape burnout for Andy Wright in the hot rod. And don't forget, he's still not actually got a qualified time on the board. So at the moment, he's not in the show. Well, they both leave the start line. Andy Robinson, though, no messing about whatsoever. 6:10.238 consolidates his number one spot.
Yeah, very pleased actually. The crew are doing a great job. Just checking all the valve springs, making sure that's okay. And the car's working really well.
And again, on board with Andy Robinson for this great run.
Thoughts for tomorrow? The weather forecast looks like it's going to be a lot colder than it is today.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the tree's going to be like. From the point of view, that's the event tree, so we don't know whether we've got a bye first round or not. So we'll back it down a little bit for the first round, definitely.
And a good start from Bobby Wallace.
Yeah, it's going really well, really well. We've pretty much just refreshed it over the winter, done a few changes inside to make me more comfortable in the car, and pretty much picked up where we left off last year. At the end of the year, it might be pushing it, but I'd like to see a 6:11 out of it, hopefully.
So we'll look at the final qualifying table. So into eliminations we go. Kev Slyfield with the bye run. Let's see if they can get all the new horsepower to hook up. And that certainly looks like it, no trouble whatsoever. Blast through, shoots out early with a new personal best of 6:19 at only 199 miles an hour. To say they're happy is a bit of an understatement. Congratulations to Kev and the whole team. Next up, Jean Delemont, not coming to a screeching halt, against Andy Wright in the newly flamed hot rod. What other paint job would you put on a hot rod other than a proper flame paint job? It looks absolutely fantastic. It always looked good, but it's just a slight notch better than it was now. So this could well be a very, very close race indeed. Andy Wright, unfortunately, only got one run in. So this is a little bit of guesswork from the team, but they certainly know what they're doing, and Andy does on the tree as well. Big hole shot for the hot rod, and he takes the win over Jean Delemont. 6:74 at 2:03. Takes out a 6:79. Rick Garrett and Bobby Wallace, the two Willis lined up in round one. Now, as I mentioned before, when you see them together, they are both effectively the same body style, but it's just a slightly different design. Bobby Wallace's car is slightly more squat, with a huge scoop on there, and Rick Garrett's is a little more lay down. Oh, looks like Rick got the jump off the start line, but spun the tyres instantly. Problems still getting that set up to work. Bobby Wallace, no problems at all. 6:30.219, and another new personal best for them. Yeah, Rick Garrett out towards the wall. And Bobby Wallace said he wanted to run a 6:1, and he's not that far away now. Andy Robinson, bye run, due to be a number one qualifier. Clicks off just half to half track and still goes 6.70. So going into the semis, and a delighted Kev Slyfield.
Yeah, it was a brilliant run. Yeah, we lost third gear unfortunately, so I pulled the chutes early, and yeah, it was 6:19 with the chutes out. It was phenomenal. We bought a new supercharger off of Mike Janis, and it's working really well.
And that's getting close to Andy Robinson's time.
Yeah, I'm going to have to put some more plug leads on, aren't I? Yeah, everything's fine actually. Yeah, we had a slight issue with our Linko on the last pass, and I had to shut it down at 8th, but it was one of our best 8s ever, so it was fine.
So the first semi-final race between the two Andys. These two teams finished number 1 and 2 in the championship last year. It was so close. Even though this is 6 rounds, every single race counts, and Andy Wright will be wanting to get one back. On the Camaro. In the other lane, it's Andy Robinson off the start line first with no problems whatsoever. Absolutely straight down the lane. Low ET of the weekend, and the car's second quickest ever run. 6:02 at 2:37. For Andy Robertson, I have to say that's absolutely phenomenal performance for the first event of the year at Easter. So, 2 other guys run their personal bests this weekend. Seem to be saying that an awful lot in these Pro Mod shows these days. Everybody stepping it up and just doing that bit better every single time. Bobby Wallace, far side of the racetrack. Kev Slyfield, fresh off that 6-1. Kev with tyre shake off the start line, a little bit out of shape, but he pedals it and keeps going. Bobby Wallace is out in front, but only just. That was unbelievably close. 6-3-1 for Bobby. See it again in replay. You can see Kev get out of shape, on and off the throttle, but he keeps going. That was a proper race. Well done.
Oh, really? Yeah. Shit. I'll put the extra spark plug leads on, by the way.
Good.
So, final time then. Andy Robinson with a performance advantage so far this weekend. That 6:02 in the semis was just unbelievable. Again, considering the conditions, it is colder today. There's been a bit of rain around as well, which never lends itself to good racing. But the track crew done an excellent job getting everything dried out and ready to go. And these two will be facing off for the first MSA Pro Mod win of the year. Bobby Wallace, far side of the racetrack, the Nitrous Willis. Andy Robinson with the anger management. Black Camaro out in the lead. Andy all over the place, nearly over the centre line as well. Terrific driving job. 6.06 takes out Bobby Wallace's new personal best of a 6.29. Andy takes the win, but a great day for Bobby Wallace.
I wasn't expecting the 6.2 in the final, if I'm honest, but it's surprising it come, but it's really, really, really good.
You had to work for that one, didn't you?
Yeah, it would actually. It was about 2 inches away from the centre line, and it wouldn't come across, so I had to yank it across. But yeah, very good. Running a 6.02 on a previous pass, that 6.06 actually, I got off it at just over 5 seconds, so it was bang on again for another one. And the crew have worked really hard, and the new combination looks like it's working well, and it was a great event.
Working well might be a little bit of an understatement. Andy Robinson leading the points after round 1. Join us next time for the FIA FIM main event for round 2 here at Santa Pod.